Good evening, gentlemen. Wanted to do a video today, especially after what transpired in the chat yesterday. Um, Basically from 9:30 in the morning to basically 8:30 at night. So 11 hours of the talking, and there was some discord between members of the league, and then there was talks, whether it be in the chat or in person or outside of the chat. I had talks with some of our members outside of the chat too, and I just wanted to clear the air right now. And as your commissioner, I just wanted to talk to you guys where I'm coming from. And, one thing I would love to say first is I was very out of line yesterday to some of the members in our league. I got very upset with how mine and Ryan's trade was being portrayed. And I apologize about that. Firstly, to Jake, I understand your frustration immensely, Jake. And this is going to probably be a long video. There's going to be no awards, no previews for next week. This is just going to be a long video addressing what happened yesterday. So first, let's get that out of the way. Second all, I apologize to you, Jake, because I was definitely angry with how you were viewing the trade. And whether it be in text or when we were in person at Ryan's, I feel like I wasn't the fairest to you. Next off, I would like to apologize to Nicholas Borelli because of the way that I acted when we were texting outside of the chat and snapping outside of the chat. Nick texted me and was like, ban, ban, ban. He said like ban 10 times because he wanted to ban me from the league. He also just, he was being the troll that Nicholas Borelli is, but I bit and fell for it, and it got really under my skin because last year Nick made a horrible trade to Jake. And when people were talking about vetoing that trade, I texted Nick on the outside, and loosely, I don't know if this is verbatim, but loosely, Nick was basically like, I don't care about this league, punting on the season. When he drafted his 3 tight ends, he said the same thing. It's working out for him, but granted, let alone all those things, I just wanted to say I apologize to you, Nicholas, for the way I acted to you. Third, I would love to apologize to Dan for the way that I acted towards you when we were at Duke's. Dan made a comment of, I think we should veto this trade and then no more vetoes going forward. And I got irrationally mad, or maybe rationally. I just got mad at Dan for the way that he said that. Yesterday I was in a tough mood to some of the members in the league, and I would like to apologize for that. Where I'm coming from, and I think it was John or Frankie or Drost, I don't remember which one. I know it was one of the 3 of you that said that trades in fantasy rarely are ever going to be even. They're going to be one side's thinking they're making a deal for their future that catapults them, and then the other side is reflective of the fact that that trade is in their favor. We don't have to really talk about the trades that went down last year because some of them were more egregious than the one that happened yesterday. When I say I understand Jake's frustration, it comes from the fact that, yes, him and I did veto the trade. I forget what it was. It was Kamara and Patrick and someone else on his team for Dalvin, Judy, and DJ Moore on my team. Now, in hindsight, yeah, it was a bad trade, but did I want it to go through? Yeah. I was, as you guys know, I'm reactionary, very much so. And that's why after week 2, I traded away AJ Brown, who was my 3rd round pick, and Brandon Ayuk away for Chris Godwin. And Chris Godwin hasn't been great. Granted, neither has Ayuk or Brown, but I'm just a very reactionary person. Last year, I drafted a very good team. I don't remember it verbatim off the top of my head, but I remember I had Dalvin and I had Juju and Thielen, and I remember flipping Thielen and Juju for Kenny Golladay and Ruggs, and then trading Golladay and Cook to Dan for Saquon, because as a Giants fan and as a masochist, I love torture, and I got Saquon back. And, I remember the group chat that night, everyone was like, what a dumb trade. Why'd you do that? Well, guys, trades are just that. Trades are just dumb moves where in your head you think what you're doing is right. Or in Burley's case, you punt the season. But for me, I'm a very reactionary person, and I was very mad with how Dalvin was playing this year. I think when we made that trade, it was week 3, and he was going to be out on Sunday. And so I went to trade him. Granted, giving up DJ Moore, I probably shouldn't have done, and giving up, to me, man, that trade that I did with Jake that got vetoed, in hindsight, it was a bad trade, but I was still willing to die with that trade. I make my bed and I lie with it. And I know Jake sent the screenshots in the group chat. When he said, "Yo, are you happy with that trade? Because I totally understand if you're not." And I remember my response was, I was at first until reading the group chat's messages. For me, man, I would still have those players on my team if some players in the league didn't threaten to leave the league and demand their money back. And I wholeheartedly believe that. I said that to Jake yesterday of when we were at Dupes, saying to him, listen, once people start bringing up wanting to leave the league, I get defensive and try to find ways to fix that. And that's what happened week 3 on that Thursday. I got very defensive and was like, well, I don't want people to leave the league. And I went along and reversed the trade. And some of you guys can say that's cap. Some of you guys can say I'm a liar. That's fine. That's totally reasonable to have those assumptions of me. And I think that's where Jake's frustration came from, because he clearly won our trade and it got reversed. And this is no lie. I won mine and Dupe's trade yesterday, and Dupe admitted it. When I went over to Dupe's for the 9:30 game at 9:15, I talked to him and I was like, well, he brought it up that he needed a running back because he was starting Devonta Freeman. And I told him I like Diggs and Tyreek, and we worked out a trade. Dupe contemplated it for roughly 15 to 20 minutes and then just said, this is the best thing I can get. And he pressed accept. And, there's 10 of us in the league. All of us have egos, and I think all of us are competitive to a large degree. And all of us are friends to a lesser degree. And what I mean by that is some of us are closer with some of us, and some of us aren't that close. And that's fine. All I'm saying is, Dan said something yesterday of, at the end of the day, if this gets vetoed, it doesn't really matter. It's fantasy football. And to an extent, I agree with Dan, but to another extent, I don't, because I'm as bad as anyone else, man. I'm competitive, and I'm competitive at things that I know I'm good at. And not to say I'm great at fantasy football, because I lost last year, and I'm 2-3 this week, going on 2-4. Shout out Zach. But I know I have an immense amount of football knowledge, and so it pains me when I'm not good at something that brings me so much joy throughout the year. I love football. It's my favorite sport. Me with football is like Jake with baseball. I'm just not in the career of it. And so I disagree with Dan on that fact of it's just fantasy, it doesn't matter. But I also agree with Dan when he's saying it's just fantasy, it doesn't matter. Because I was very mad at Nick yesterday, at Borelli, and it all the anger yesterday, none of it ruined friendships, but I never want this to get to the fact that where it would put a friendship in jeopardy, because at the end of the day, it is just fantasy football. And at the end of the day, I love each and every one of you guys a huge amount, like so much. I have so many great memories with each and every single one of you. Like Frankie, first day of fifth grade, man, you sat next to me and you were the new kid. And I remember we started talking and we've been friends ever since, man. That's like 14 years now, 14, 15. Like, that's crazy. One more year of our friendship and our friendship could legally drive. Jake, there's stories of me and you playing at the Chestnut Hill gym while Chantel and my brother played basketball, man. Like, we were probably 3 or 4 and we've been friends for that long. Like, that's 21 years, man. If we started being friends at 3, that's 21 years, and that means our friendship's old enough to have a drink. Like, John, we've been friends for so long. We started playing football when we were younger, and we got so close. I mean, we were already close, but we got so close last summer when we golfed every day, and just the rides in the cart, whether it be talking about shows, movies, sports, or just life. And like, I cherish those memories. And same with Zach, and I mean, all of you guys. I can go through each and every one of you. And like, Dan, you're my first roommate. You're the first person I lived with outside of my house. Like, that means something to me. And Mike and Nick, you guys, Mike, I've been friends with you since, I don't know, maybe like the 4th grade, like playing football together. And then we played basketball in 7th and 8th grade. And I remember my junior year, your sophomore, you said that Borelli was going to join the football team. And all I knew of Nick was one of his Facebook profile pictures was him in a vest, button up, and a tie, holding a shoe. And I was like, this guy's playing football? This guy looks like he looks like a chump. And I remember saying that to Mike, and Mike was like, just give him a chance. And Borelli and I, man, the 3 of us, we've been so close ever since. And, Dupe, like, I remember on the bus to High Meadows, and some of the grass crew were busting your chain and kind of like riling you up, stirring the pot. And I remember once we got there, me, you, John hung out, and I think that really like catapulted our friendship to a different level. And I mean, also, like, shout out Dross, bro. Like, we went to I remember one night at Anytime, we went to the gym, and like, as I do some days, I made a little joke about my deceased father, and Dross was like, I didn't know your dad died. And I remember, man, after just an hour and 15-minute workout for myself, and you were getting ready to leave, we stood out by the car just talking about life. And like, that shit meant so much to me, man, because like, yeah, you stir the pot and you talk trash and you get under people's skin, but like, there's a human aspect to you, and there's a human aspect to all of us. And at the end of the day, this is just fantasy football. And I just wanted to send out an apology video where I could express my feelings of saying, I'm sorry for if I was irrationally mad, and I know I was directed at some of you, all due to the trade. And, if Drost, and not just Drost, if people weren't that mad about Jake and I's trade earlier in the year, I would have Alvin Kamara on my team right now and Tim Patrick, and Jake would have Dalvin Cook, Jerry Jeudy on his IR, and DJ Moore, and it'd be different. But the fact that there was some threatening to leave the league, that's why I reversed it. And right hand to God, that is the number one reason why I reversed that trade. And there was a good point brought up yesterday of, well, now are we just hiring people for 1 weeks and then they can say they don't like the trade and it get vetoed? No, and we had a veto process 2 or 3 years ago where it was on the website. If you didn't like a trade, you could veto it, but we agreed, shockingly enough, we agreed on something where instead of vetoing trades, we just automatically pushed them. And one thing I don't want to see come from yesterday is either no trades are being made now, or there's just clear taking advantages and those trades get reversed. I was with Dupe from 9:30 in the morning to about 8 o'clock last night. And, in the morning, we had a different tone about our trade. And Dupe was happy about it because he got a running back, and I was going to say a top tier, but let's be honest, Gibson's not a top tier. He got a good running back. And then, as the day went on, he started to disagree with the trade, and that's fine. I mean, he even said it himself. He offered trades to other people, and no one picked up his texts, and I came in at 9:30 offering something he wanted, and I got something I wanted in return. So I understand the frustration from you, Jake, and from anyone else who's upset with the trade. I know Jake was the most vocal about it. I still can't tell if Borelli was trolling or not, but I understand the frustration where you wanted trade fair and square, and it got reversed. And I understand that. I truthfully do. And I understand why Dupe wants it reversed. Clearly, I don't want it reversed. But there's one thing that we need to figure out, and it's the vetoing process. And it sucks that we have to do it 6 weeks into the season, and we didn't do it prior to the season. But it's something we should figure out. It's either all trades get put to a vote or not. And I think that trades should be I truthfully do believe, since it already happened once this year, that trades should be put to a vote. If it's a 2 or more for 2 or more. Because I've seen trades for Noah Fant for Antonio Brown. It's 1 for 1, those trades shouldn't get put to a vote. But if it's 2 or more for 2 or more, then I believe those trades should get put to a vote. Call me crazy, but that's what it is. I talked to Ryan. He said he would like it reversed, but he doesn't believe he has a say in it, and I clearly don't want it reversed, and I don't believe I have a say in it. So I think that once you guys see this video, and it usually takes an hour to upload, we should vote on it tomorrow. And I am happy with whatever happens. If it gets vetoed, I will reverse it tomorrow. If it doesn't get vetoed, I will keep the players, and Ryan will lay in the bed that he made, which he even said he's willing to do. Lastly, I just want to say, for anyone that was in the crossfires for my emotional state yesterday. I apologize. I was not happy, but it is what it is, and that is that. So thank you guys for listening. Hopefully you watch this. I know it's going to be a long one. It says it's around 20 minutes right now. Hopefully you guys watch this because I just want to clear the air, and I clearly wasn't going to type this. So shout out to everyone. Love you all. You guys mean more to me than fantasy football. And whatever happens tomorrow in the voting polls, I'm willing to accept. So thank you guys. Let's vote on it tomorrow. Majority rules. Ryan and I do not have a say. Thank you guys.